beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am here to share with you 6 makeup looks, 6 tutorials using the new Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. So if you have this palette and you've been needing a little bit of inspiration and weren't sure what to create with it, I really do hope that this video is helpful for you. Before I do get into the tutorials, I do just want to say really quickly, if you would like to hear kind of more of a review or an overview of my full complete thoughts on this palette, see swatches of all the shades, as well as learn about a dupe that I found for this palette. And no, it's not the Anastasia sultry palette that everybody else has been comparing it to, but I did find another palette similar to it that is very, very close that you might already have in your collection, especially if you are an Urban Decay fan. So there's that. But if you haven't seen that video and you'd like to see that, I will link it in the cards. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tutorials. So I'm going to start the look first with a gel liner. This is from Ardell. It's their Wanna Get Lucky gel liner in the shade Royal Purple. I've been somewhat obsessed with this for my waterline. I just love the subtle color that it adds. It's not too bright or vibrant or obnoxious. It just looks really, really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Smith 230. I'm going to be going into the shade Bucked and applying that onto my lid in the inner and outer corner areas. This is going to be a halo eye, so I'm going to be starting to build the sides for that look. I'm also just going to be blending and building that shade upwards into my crease and slightly above into my transition area as well. Okay, now I'm also going to run that under my lower lash line as well. Now, because I want to add just a little bit more depth, I am going to go into the shade Endgame with a pencil brush, and I'm going to sweep just a touch of that to my lower lash line, as well as like in the very, very inner and outer corners of my eyes. Now with just a regular eyeshadow packing brush, I'm going to be using the Stilazi Shadow Fluff, the L213. I'm going to be going into the shade Reputation and applying that to the center of my lids. And I'm just going to be kind of patting and sweeping that on very, very gently, and then slowly working it up to blend just above my crease and transition. Now this shadow does apply pretty well, but if you really want it to pop, I would suggest spraying it with some setting spray. I'm not going to worry about doing that because I am going to add a touch of glitter over top this, so I don't really mind if it's not too poppin'. And lastly, for the shadows, I'm going to be going into the shade Bribe with a tapered kind of blending brush and just sweeping that on my brow bone. And maybe putting a little bit into my inner corner as well. Alright, and this is essentially the look completed. You can be done here if you want, add mascara, add lashes, do whatever you want, but I'm going to add just a touch of glitter. I've been kind of obsessed with using the Urban Decay glitter liners with this palette. Alright, so I'm going to be grabbing the Urban Decay glitter liner in the shade Midnight Cowboy, which is just a nice gold color, and I'm just going to be applying that onto the center of my lid just to enhance that halo eye look. Alright, so you can see how this kind of just amps up the look just a little bit. It's not necessary, but I just love glitter. I love to sparkle, and it takes this simple look to just a slightly next level glam. Alright, so here's the completed look. I went ahead and applied some lashes. Now this look is a very, very simple look. Definitely does not require lashes. I normally would just wear mascara with this look, but I really want to try these brand new lashes that I got from Vita Cosmetics in the style Traicionera, and they are so, so pretty. They're very lightweight and natural looking, but also very wispy and beautiful. I just love them. And then of course I went ahead and popped on a gloss, one of my very favorites, the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Backtalk, and this is it for the first look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's go ahead and move on to the second look. We're going to go right in with a big fluffy brush. I'm going to be using the Stilazi Crease Blender, the L215, and be taking the shade Retro right into my crease and transition area. I am going to be focusing that shade mostly on the outer corner and slightly winging it out because I want to create a cat eye kind of shape and effect with my eyes in this look. Then when I have less product, I will blend and sweep the brush inwards toward the inner corner of my eyes. Then with a slightly smaller blending brush, I'm just going to go ahead and sweep a little bit of that same shade to my lower lash line, blending it to meet up with the outer corner of my eyes. Alright, now I'm going to go in with a smaller rounded blending brush. This is the Smith 230 and into the shade Endgame. I'm going to be placing that on the outer corner of my eyes As you can see, I'm just going to tap to place that color, and once I got most of it down, then I'm going to go back in and blend. I'm actually going to go ahead and switch to an even smaller blending brush. This is this Delazzi Mini Crease Fluff, the L217, just to kind of get a more precise blend into my crease and transition. Now with a little pencil brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of that same shade, Endgame, to my lower lash line. For my lid, I really want to use the shade Angel Fire. This is a stunning shade, but this is definitely one of the more very kind of chunky kind of shadows in this palette. I've already used it once before, and I already know that it needs a little bit of help, so I'm not even going to bother just trying to straight put it down on my lid. I'm going to go ahead and pick some up on a shadow brush. This is the Shadow Fluff brush from Stilazzi, and then I'm going to spray my brush with some setting spray. I like to use the Morphe setting spray because that one has glycerin in it, and it just really helps to kind of meld the shadow together and apply them beautifully. So that's what I'm going to do, and apply that to the front portion of my lid, sweeping back. And the best way to apply this really is just to pat, pat, pat that shadow down and then gently sweep backwards. This is seriously such a beautiful shade, like literally, even though it's super flaky, but once you get it on with some setting spray, it just applies so, so beautifully. Lastly, for the shadows, I'm going to go into the shade Bribe and bring that to my brow bone. Put a little bit on my inner corner as well. Now, even though the shadow that I put on my lid already has a little bit of glitter and sparkle to it, I really just want to amp up that sparkle. You guys know me, I say this in almost all my videos, I gotta have a little extra sparkle. So this next step is completely optional, but I thought that this shade from Urban Decay, their Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Grind, would be an absolutely gorgeous complementary glitter to this look. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and use and just apply it somewhat sparingly to my lid. This shade Grind is a pink glitter with some holographic sparkle, and it's just gonna, I think, amp up this look a little bit more, but again, very optional. Alright, and so you can kind of see right now how this just totally amps up the look. I mean, it's kind of a subtle thing, but just that sparkle, and it adds a little bit more pink to the look that I just think is so, so pretty. Alright, so next up I am going to go ahead and add a winged liner. Again, this is something that's totally optional. I know not everybody likes to do wing liner, and wing liner is very, very hard. But I'm going to be using the Ciate London Stamp Liner. This is really one of the only ways I've been like able to really achieve a really good wing liner, because normally I suck at it. Now, I will say that using a stamp still does require a little bit of practice. You kind of want to make sure you're angling it correctly and matching up the angles of the way you're stamping it down, but even still, I really, really love these, and they're just so, so helpful. And then right now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is put on some liner into my waterline and tightline. I'm using the Ardell Wanna Get Lucky Gel Liner in the shade Royal Purple. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara. I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Mascara, as well as the Eyeko London Black Magic Mascara. Alright, and to finish up this look, I'm going to be applying the City Lips Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Rosy Mauve. This is a very pinky lipstick, so hopefully it'll pair well with this eye look. But also, I just really love these lipsticks from City Lips, so hopefully this looks good. Okay, yes, this color is actually really, really beautiful, and actually kind of matches my shirt. I think it really goes well with this eye look. So anyways, this is the completed look. I told you it's pretty simple, a very basic, but kind of a little bit of a glammed up look, but I love the way it turned out. I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next look. I'm going to start off first going right in with the shade Retro with a fluffy blending brush. This one is the Morphe M518, and I'm just going to softly diffuse that into the inner and outer corners of my eyes, my crease and transition, and really just smoke it upwards. Now, I forgot to mention, but I don't have any primer on my eyes. I just have a little bit of concealer there from doing the rest of my face makeup. When I get closer to diffusing it up towards my brow bone, then I'm going to go ahead and just sweep back and forth very lightly to just get the slightest bit of pigmentation to connect the two sides. Now just to add a little bit of depth and dimension, I'm going to go ahead and go into the shade In the Game with the Morphe M507. And I'm just very gently going to be sweeping that on the inner and outer corners of my eyes, mostly focusing that color just on my lids, not necessarily bringing it up high up into the crease at all. I want this look to remain soft and pretty, but I do want to have a little bit of depth to it. Now with that same brush and the same shade, I'm just going to gently run that along my lower lash line. Then going back in with that first blending brush I used, no additional product, I'm just going to go ahead and run over my lower lash line just to kind of blend it out. Then I'm also going to go ahead and softly diffuse out that color on my lid as well. So I'm going to go into the shade Angel Fire, which I talked about before is the most flaky of the shadows in this palette. And normally I would spray it, but I don't think I'm going to spray it this time. I'm just going to kind of try to pick it up with this kind of flat packing brush and just place it in the center of my lid very, very softly. I don't want it too intense. I really just want a soft, glittery, diffused look. So I'm just going to pat it on and then gently sweep back and forth to blend a little bit. And you're going to see that it's not like super pigmented. It really just gives a nice kind of like shimmery, glittery, soft, sparkly look. If you really want this shadow to perform, I encourage you to use a setting spray or put down like a sticky base first. Otherwise, it's just going to give this just soft, sparkly look that you're going to see here. Now notice this is, or you may not notice, I don't know, but this is giving me a little bit of flaky fallout. So keep that in mind. Probably should have put down a powder, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll just gently wipe that away after I'm done. Next, I do just want to bring a little bit to my lower lash line just to kind of add a little bit of reflection down there. Alright, and that pretty much is it for the look. I'm going to go ahead and apply a pencil liner to my waterline. I'm going to be using the Endless Silky Eye Pen from Pixi in the shade Graphic Greige. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and apply my brows and my lashes off camera, and I'll be right back to show you guys the completed look. Alright, so here is the completed look. For anybody curious, for my lashes, I did just go ahead and use the L'Oreal Voluminous Curved Brush Mascara, and then I also used the CoverGirl Lash Blast Active Mascara, kind of little dual action. And then for my brows, I kind of really love how they turned out today. I used the new Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel pomade things in the shade Dark Brown. And then for my lips, I didn't want to do up anything. I want to keep this look very simple, very just easy breezy. So I popped on the City Lips lip gloss in the shade Tinseltown. I do really like how this look turned out. I think it's very nice, very soft. For me personally, I find it kind of nice everyday wearable. For anybody else who might want to tone it down a little bit, not bring the shadows up as high as I did, but I just thought that looked so pretty, just soft and kind of ethereal, and I really like the way this look pulled together, so I really hope you guys do. But anyways, with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and start off by priming my lids with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the anti-aging version. I don't think I've primed my eyes for any of the looks I've done so far, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to today because I feel like it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and just start off with the shade Bucked using a big fluffy blending brush. This is the Stilazzi Crease Blender, and I'm going to take that to my crease, smoke it out as my transition shade. You'll notice I will wing the shadow out just a little bit as I want to create a more cat eye effect with this look. Next, I'll be taking a slightly smaller blending brush. I'm going to be using the Smith 230 brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Endgame, bringing that to the outer corner of my eyes and blending and sweeping it a little bit into my crease as well. Now I'm just really quickly going to go back in with that first blending brush we used and that first shadow just to kind of blend and soften up the blend there. Alright, now going in with a packing brush. This is the Shadow Fluff from Stilazzi. I'm going to go into the shade Dream Weaver and apply that to my lid. Okay, that's not applying as well as I would like. It is a little bit more of a chunkier shadow. So I am going to go ahead and spray my brush. I'm going to pick up some shadow first and then spray my brush with the Morphe setting spray and then apply. Now I do really like this Shadow Dreamweaver. I did hear a lot of people say they didn't really care for it in this palette, didn't think it belonged, but I think it's really pretty and I do find it to be kind of unique, and I like that it's in this palette. Now before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and apply a wing liner, and as per usual, I'm going to be using the Ciate London Stamp and Drag Liner. Alright, now with my liner done, I'm going to go in with a pencil brush. This one's again from Stilazzi, and I'm going to go back into that dark shade Endgame and bring that to my lower lash line. Okay, and I really love the way this looks, don't get me wrong. I am going to put some glitter on top of this. So just so you know, you can basically see how the look is going on right now. I think it looks really, really pretty. But this this glitter, specifically Dreamweaver, just with that little bit of silver flecks in it, I just want to really enhance that and bring that forth. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use the Urban Decay glitter liner in the shade Glam Rock, which is just a silver glitter, and I'm going to kind of sparingly apply it over top of Dreamweaver just to enhance that sparkle a little bit more. Alright, so here's the result. I just think it looks so much prettier. It just amps up the look a little bit. And I don't know, I love the way it looks. You guys know how much I love glitter. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the look. I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off camera to save some time. I am going to go ahead and apply lashes. I'll be using the Pure Cosmetics lashes in the style of Bombshell as usual. But after I apply all that, I'll pop back on to show you guys the completed look. Alright, so here is the completed look. If anybody's curious, I did use the brand new Anastasia brow pomade gel for my brows. It's kind of been my go-to lately. Really love the way they look. I do have a little tutorial that's on Instagram. I'll link that if you are curious to see me use it in action. And then for lips, I went ahead and just popped on my favorite gloss, one of my very favorite glosses at least, the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine lip gloss in the shade Backtalk. And that's it for look number 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next look. Now this first part is going to be completely optional. As you can see, I do already have the rest of my face done, so I do have some concealer on my lids. So what I'm going to do is just take a big fluffy brush into the shade Blur very lightly and just kind of run that all over my eyelids. This really isn't that noticeable because Blur is literally about the same color as my skin tone exactly, but I'm just setting kind of down any, concealer that I have on my lids that might be a little bit damp, wet, whatever. Alright, next up I'm going to go into the shade Boundaries with a big fluffy blending brush and just blend that right into my crease and sweep it up as my transition shade. Now this is going on pretty lightly because remember I do have that shade blurred down. If you were to go in without having put down a base color, it would go a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more pigmented, but I really just wanted to keep this more of a lighter look. It is a very softer, quick look, so I don't want it too dark. Alright, now I'm going to go right in with the lid shade. I'm going to add a little bit of deepness later, but since I want this to be a little bit more of a softer look, I want to put the lid shade on first. So I'm going to be going into the shade Barely Baked with this Pro All Over Shader brush from Beauty Junkies. This is a really great brush for really placing on a beautiful shimmer shadows onto the lid. It's a wider brush and it just applies shadows beautifully and in one sweep usually, so it's a really nice brush to use. And I do find that this shadow actually applies really, really well all on its own without a setting spray, without, a sticky base. It's a really beautiful shade that's really easy to work with. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of Endgame on a smaller blending brush and bring that to the outer corner of my eyes to add a little bit of depth and dimension to this look, but we're going to do it very slowly, very softly, very gently. Okay, and then again, very carefully, I'm going to go in with a pencil brush and that same shade Endgame and bring that to my lower lash line. Alright, and this is pretty much it for the look. I told you it was very, very simple, very, very quick and easy, but I think it looks really, really pretty. Now, just because we are doing such a simple look and such a muted look, I thought it'd be nice to do a fun pop of color in the waterline. This is completely optional, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Overdrive, which is just a really beautiful forest green, and just put that in my waterline. I just think that'll be a nice touch for this look. Okay, I just really quickly put on my brows off camera. I'm going to be trying a new mascara today. This is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, so I figured I'd just do that on camera, see what I think. I've had this for a little bit, but just haven't opened it and used it. I'm finally going to use it. I do feel like it looks like it's a little bit dried out, so hopefully it's still good. It's the first time I'm opening it, so it shouldn't be dried out, but I don't know. It's, maybe that's just how it's supposed to be, I'm not sure. Alright, so I think the eyes look really good. That mascara is really, really nice. I do feel like it's a little bit too dry for my preference. I'm not sure if just because I had it too long or what, but I think it looks really, really nice. And so since this was a really quick and simple look, I do think it's really, really pretty though. I can't lie. I love these kind of very soft, simple looks. But anyway, since it's such a simple look, I am going to go ahead and try to do a fun little lipstick. And so I got these new MAC lipsticks in a makeup swap I did recently. If you haven't seen that, I will link it. But this is one of the MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks, and this is the shade Sexy But Sweet. I hope it will look good with this look. I think it should because it's so neutral. We'll see. Okay, so actually I think this color turned out really pretty with this look. It's like a nice little bubblegum pink, a little pop of color to complement the gold and then the green in my waterline. I really, really like it. I really love the way this look turned out. I really hope you guys did too, but with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the very last look. Alright, welcome to tutorial number 6, look number 6. For this final look, I really want to create a kind of mixed metals kind of look, and I think this will probably be the most glam look that I've created. These tutorials I've actually filmed over the last like 2 months, so they're kind of been split up, and I'm trying to remember every look that I've created, but I'm pretty sure this will be the most glam look that I've created with this, but I couldn't help it. So anyways, as you can see, I do already have the rest of my face done. I did lay down a little bit of powder because I am going to be using some of the darker shades, and they do have a little bit of fallout, so I really don't want to mess up my face. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a big fluffy brush. I'm going to be using the Stilazi Crease Blender, the L215, and I'm going to go into the shade Bucked. And then just take that lightly into the outer corner and crease of my eyes. Alright, next up, to deepen up this look, I am going to go right into Endgame, and I'm going to take that mostly focusing it on the outer corner of my eyes and then bringing it forward into the crease, and then sweeping it forward. I'm going to try to go in very lightly with this as much as I can, and then later on I'll probably go back into the shade to deepen it up after I lay down a few other colors. But right now I just want to kind of set a little bit of a dimension to this look, but not too much right away. Anyways, I'm going to be using the Smith 230 blending brush to do this. Okay, really quickly, I'm not sure if this step is really that necessary, but it's just kind of, as I'm looking at what this is looking like, I want to do this to warm up these shadows just a little bit. But I'm going to go back in with that first blending brush that I used from Stilazi and the shade Boundaries, just to soften up this blend as well as warm it up just a little bit. I just want a little bit more warmth to these colors. And I am kind of smoking these shadows up a little bit high because I am going to be doing a kind of cut crease look. It's not exactly a cut crease, but it'll have a little bit of a glitter liner to give that faux cut crease kind of a look. So that's kind of what I'm going for right now. Alright, now I'm going to be going into the shade Barely Baked, which is a beautiful golden shade. And I'm going to take that on the Stilazi Shadow Fluff, the L213, and bring that to the inner third of my eyelids. Gosh, I really love the way these metallics apply to the lid. Like, I don't think I mentioned, but I'm not wearing an eyeshadow primer. I just had a little bit of concealer over top of my lids, but most of these shades in this palette apply beautifully on their own without having to be sprayed, without a primer or anything like that. They just apply down so beautifully. Love that. And then I did just go ahead and bring that shadow back maybe a little bit farther than the first third of my lid, but that's just because I wanted to have a nice gradient blend with the next shade I'm going to put down, which is the shade Burn. And I'm just going to go into that shade with this same exact brush and just lay it right next to that shadow and kind of blend over top, so it just has a nice gradient effect to it. Alright, now here's where I'm going to go back into the shade Endgame. I'm going to take that on a very, very small blending brush. This is the Mini Crease Fluff, the L217 from Stilazzi. And I'm going to take that to the outer corner of my eyes again, just to add a little bit more blend, a little bit more depth, and then kind of bring it up a little bit into my crease too, above where I place those more metallic shades. And then I'm also going to go ahead and run that on my lower lash line. Alright, lastly with the palette, I'm going to go into the shade Bribe with the Sedona Lace EB09 and just bring that to the brow bone for a little bit of brow bone highlight. Probably pop a little bit of this into my inner corner as well, actually. It's such a pretty shade. It's kind of like a matte, but not really, maybe more of a satin, because it does have a little bit of a sheen to it, but not much. It's really, really pretty. I actually don't think I really used it that much in any of these tutorials, which I'm kind of surprised about because normally I do use those type of colors a ton. Right, so here's what my eyes are looking like right now. I am going to go ahead and add a glitter liner to this. As I said, I wanted to kind of create a glitter cut crease kind of look. So for that, I'm actually going to be using the Urban Decay glitter liner in the shade Glam Rock. Now this is a silver glitter shade, and this is how and why I've called this a mixed metals kind of look. Because as you can see, we've got a little bit of gold, we got a little bit of a bronzy shade, and now we're going to pull in the silver. And I just think it's going to be such a fun, pretty look. So really all I'm just going to do is use that to kind of align over where I placed those two metallic shades on my lid for a very quick and easy faux glitter cut crease kind of look. Alright, so here is what the eyes are looking like now. I actually really love the mix of different metallic shades on the lid, and I really hope you guys do too. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some lashes. I'll be using the Vita Cosmetics Traicionera lashes. They've kind of been my go-to lately. Alright, so here is what the eyes are looking like up close. Gosh, I really love the way this look turned out. I really hope you guys do too. Also, just a quick note, I did go ahead and use the Rimmel London Scandalize waterproof liner in the shade Nude for my waterline. And then for lips, I went ahead and applied the Urban Decay Game of Thrones Vice lipstick in the shade Sansa Stark. This has just been a go-to lipstick of mine ever since I got that Urban Decay collection. If you have not seen my video on the Urban Decay collection and the looks I created with it, I will link that in case you are interested. But this is just a sheer lipstick. It's super beautiful and just really, really easy to wear with kind of any look. And it feels very, very moisturizing, almost like a lip balm, but with just a little bit of a tint. So I have really, really been loving it. Alright beauty babes, and that is the look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial as well as this video at all 6 looks I shared with you guys today. I'd love to know which look was your favorite, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts, and I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye beauty babes. Mwah!